All right, AirPods in here with 9 to 5 Sports. Going to be getting into the core plays here for the Shriners Children's Open. Now, this one, kind of like last week, is going to be a week in which it's going to be a little bit higher variance. We're going to be on some players that have a chance to win, and then there's just inherently, hopefully not, but it's just kind of early season DFS, and especially with this week, an easier scoring event, which is already a higher variance type of tournament. It's going to be higher variance. So what we're hoping for here is we're hoping to nail that upside, and then I'm going to be focusing on some players that I think have a much better likelihood to make the cut as well. So you guys can see it there. The first player I'm going to touch on is actually going to be Sungjae Im. So one thing I added here too as well to the 9 to 5 player profile here on the data cheat sheet is just going to be their starts over the last year. And we're going to mix in made cuts, top 25 finishes, top 10 finishes, and then average finishes as well. So we can see here, though, Sungjae Im coming out as the 7th best ranked player. That projected ownership is coming in from last week still. So once that gets updated, obviously that number will get updated. But we can just look at his recent form. 31st at the Sanderson Farms, that's fine. Didn't play poorly at the Tour Championship, ended up finishing 20th, but we can see, strokes gained approach was okay. Nothing horrible at the Tour Championship, nothing to write home about, but he did play well at the BMW Championship, Northern Trust. Wyndham Championship played fine. WGC event, not so much. John Deere Classic, not so much. But what we do like to see, 2 top 15 finishes at this course. We look at kind of the secondary stats, I guess, for this tournament. We can see he has played better on this course design. He has played better on this course length. Course style about the same. Course type about the same as well. Strokes gained, tee to green. He does favor kind of these conditions as well. Plays well in this rough height, this rough length, and then just looking at greens, for the most part, about even keel there. So Sungjae Im is telling us that he should be a good play. He should be able to make the cut, and he also should present us with some top 20 upside. I guess my worry with him is, one, not exactly a top-notch stat fit this week, 38th there, and then also he doesn't really give us as much upside as we would typically want. The next player I'm going to get into is going to be Willie Z, not Willie Mcgirt, Willie Z here. So top 5 pick in the 9 to 5 mile this week. We look at his recent form, been spectacular. 3 straight top 30 finishes, 14th, 11th, 29th, 8th place finish. Love to see that. His start here last year was a top 5 finish as well. We just look at his cuts on tour. Almost over half of them have been top 25 finishes. 6 out of his 23 starts have been top 10 finishes as well. So yeah, Willie Z, just as a whole, I think he's going to be a stellar play for us this week. Top 20 stat fit, top 24 in recent form rank. Just a guy who last week had said, after missing the Fighters Cup playoffs last week, I'm definitely, more motivated, more mentally into it this year. And that's something that kind of I wanted to remember going forward, because I think he's going to be a good pick. Now, he is priced up a little bit too, and that's kind of the problem with this week is that, the really good plays we're forced to pay up for. Corey Connors is going to be the next core play for me this week. I do like him as well. The issue with him as a pick is that he hasn't had good success, and that's the problem with really anyone that's not in the high tier price point range, is that you're going to be bringing in some kind of risk. But we can see based on his recent form, it's been spectacular. Top 11 in the field, just knocking off top 25 finishes. 19 of his 26 starts last year were top 25 finishes, which is absolutely spectacular. We love to see that. We look at all those other kind of secondary stats to look at for the week. Does rank out pretty well in those. He does gain strokes putting on bent greens as well compared to his average. So we do like that from Corey Connors as well. And then the last one is going to be Joaquin Neiman. Now, I do like Cameron Tringale, but after he was in contention to win going into Sunday and then crumbling, I'm not exactly sure I want to make him a core play. And I should make this clear as well. This week, I don't exactly have core plays because I think we should spread out the ownership. This is a week in which I have a bunch of high exposure plays in my player pool, but it's tough to really establish a guy that's, locked into making the cut, and then a guy that's also, has that upside. It's just very difficult to narrow that down. We can narrow it down to players that, might have a slight risk to miss the cut, but they have some safety and they have some upside. Kind of that player to me is Joaquin Neiman, who, he's been making a ton of cuts. Okay, he has. But the recent form hasn't exactly been great. That could have just been the playoffs. It's tough to really gauge what to do with him. 8.3 is a great price point for Joaquin Neiman, a great putter, great in strokes gained approach. You know, he's going to take advantage of his birdie opportunities. Strong course history, missed a cut in 2020, but, you know, other than that, 13th and 10th place finish, we like to see that. It's very peculiar here what to do with Joaquin Neiman. So I like him at this price point. That's why I'm going to stick with him. And then another player that I do like as well is going to be Mito as well. If you guys want to roll with him, you can. But that's all I have for you guys for this week. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a like, subscribe, and as always, let's keep cashing, guys.